so surreal. But we were trying to keep some things in normal. We've been doing our testimonies. We had a couple guys do testimonies the last couple weeks, and Joe Montez's testimony was amazing. I had more comments about that on Facebook, and people just loved it. So I asked Paula Davis to give her testimony, so she's going to come up right now. She's here with us this morning because I asked her to be here, and so we'll let her share her testimony, and we'll use a mic, and hopefully we can hear out there. It's crazy, we're having issues with our Facebook, you know, it dropped off and all that good stuff. It is what it is, folks. We're going to get it out there to you, so God bless you guys, and listen to what Paula has to share about her testimony.
Good morning. My name is Paula Davis. Pastor asked me to do a testimony, and so here I am. Put my glasses on so I can read. I was born in 1942 and raised in western Montana. I was brought up in the Catholic Church and always wanted to be a nurse, a nun, and also play the piano. In 1960, I graduated from high school, and instead of going to nursing school, my mom wanted me to go to Montana State University. So of course, that's where I went. I met my future husband there, and at 19 years old, we were married in September 1961. We moved to Washington State in 1963, had 3 children, and divorced in 1976. I moved to California in 1978, got remarried and divorced in 1986. 76 was the first one. 1989 to 1992, I lived with a boyfriend. My daughter Lori was going to Garden Grove Free Will Baptist Church on Lamson. In 1990, she said she was going to get baptized and asked me if I wanted to go and come. I told her she was already baptized. She said they believed in immersion. I said, okay. I went, and it was beautiful. Then Easter time came, and Lori asked me to go to church with her and my 5 granddaughters. My sixth granddaughter wasn't born yet. I said, okay again. From then on, I continued to go to church with Lori and the girls. I started going to Bible study and was involved in Women's Auxiliary. In the meantime, I'm living with my boyfriend. We played pool, we bowled, and bar hopped a lot. I was getting convicted the more I went to Bible study and decided to quit drinking. I thought I can't be drinking and asked the Lord into my heart. The Lord was already working on me. On October 24th, 1991, we had an outreach at the clubhouse at the Catilla Estate Mobile Home Park where my friend Lila lived. A movie was shown. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it convicted me. My pastor, Jonathan, gave an invitation after the movie, and I raised my hand. He came over to me and asked if I had raised my hand to accept Jesus as my Savior. I said yes, and said I was very nervous because of a commitment I didn't know what would happen. I was 49 years old. Now I have to cut my boyfriend off. I asked the Lord to give me strength to honor him. My boyfriend was so upset he went to talk to Pastor Jonathan. A year later, November 8th, 1992, I knew it would be hard to ask him to move out, but I had to tell him with love. After church, on November 8th, I came home and told him he had to move out. On November 12th, he moved out. When I got home from work that day, he was gone. I was devastated. I got on my knees and cried out to the Lord to help me get over this. And he did. I was already doing the weekly bulletin and cleaning the bathrooms every Friday night. Kind of like a date with Jesus every Friday night. I was on the advisory board in Women's Auxiliary. I had my twin granddaughters once a week after work. They loved to go to Temple Gardens to have bones, which were barbecue spare ribs. So the Lord kept me very busy. Also, I told the Lord I wasn't interested in any man unless he put someone in front of me. So that's how it went for 6 years. January 3rd, 1993, I was baptized with my 8-year-old twin granddaughters, Heidi and Holly. Jesus became my cornerstone in my life. In 1996, we had a study by Henry Blackaby, Experiencing God, Knowing and Doing the Will of God. What I learned was to look and see where God is working, not look to see where I could do something. I learned to look for the opportunity to do His will. That study helped me grow. In 1996, my son was sent to Calipatria State Prison for 9 months, which was 182 miles or 3.5 hours away, one way. I drove every Saturday for 9 months to visit him. One time when visiting hours were over, I happened by the check-in desk at the prison and saw a young girl with her little daughter there and overheard the conversation. They had missed the bus that brought them to the prison from Los Angeles and would take them back to Los Angeles. I stopped and said, if you can tell me how to get to a bus station, I would take them, if that was okay with them. So the officers told me how to get to El Centro, and off we went. Of course, it was 13 miles to El Centro in the opposite direction I would go to get home. On the way there, we got to see a pasture of sheep and little lambs, which I thought was so perfect, thinking of Jesus as our shepherd. I had no idea where a bus station would be when we arrived, so I drove one street at a time, looking left and right up each street. The third street in, guess what? There was the bus station. I went to the ticket office with them to make sure they got tickets and said I would wait with them. And she said they were fine for me to go on home. So I started my 4-hour trip at 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. The Lord set up a beautiful sunset for me against the chocolate mountains, and it was such a peaceful drive home. The Lord truly blessed me, and I found out how to be aware of where God is, which is always with me. Now it's October 1997, and my dear friend Yvonne, whom I had known for 20 years, told me in 1990 that she had been born again, and I had said, you can't be born again. She called me. Of course, she was the first person I called when I was born again. She and her husband, who was a pastor and happened to marry my daughter and son-in-law, and their 2 daughters were at Tony Roma's restaurant celebrating her birthday. So I met them, and she told me there was a nice Christian man named Steve at their church in La Sierra who she thought I would really like. I told her, no way. I wasn't looking for or interested in anyone. Can she give him my phone number? I said, no. She kept insisting, so I gave in. 2 days later, on Wednesday night, Steve called me. We talked for an hour and set up a blind date for Saturday, November 1st, 1997. Steve picked me up at 3 o'clock and asked where I would like to go. So we went to Belmont Shore for the day. We had dinner at Hoss later in the day. We ordered, and Steve got a salad. I proceeded to reach over and pick out a crouton on his plate and dipped it in the dressing. He didn't say anything. He just slid the salad plate over to me. So I picked another crouton and then slid the plate back to him. Everything went well from then on. Later, when I met one of his twin daughters and told her about our first date, she said, you did what? She said he doesn't like anyone eating off his plate. Apparently, he decided he could live with that. On about our third or fourth date, I asked him when he thought we would get married. He said in 4 months. So we set the date for our wedding. In the meantime, my church basement got flooded with groundwater where we had planned to hold the wedding reception. So my pastor, Jonathan Yandale, called Pastor Don to see if we could get married in his church, the New Beginning Church at that time, being it was a sister church. Of course, being the nice person that he is, he said yes. So Steve and I got married right here in this church, right here, on March 7th, 1998. Steve lived in Norco, so I moved to Norco, and we found a church together there. After about 2.5 years, Steve was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's, or ALS disease. He passed in May 2003, 2.5 years later. And I always knew that the Lord had put us together so I could care for him. We had 5 years together as a Christian couple. We both knew the Lord, and it was so much more meaningful than my other marriages. The Lord was always there for us and with us. After Steve passed, I moved back to Orange County and went back to my church. We were ready to close the doors of the church, and that's when Pastor Don's church came to my church for 5 years. Then it was sold to the Korean church, and Pastor moved back to Buena Park, and that is how I came to be here at the Way Fellowship. God has blessed me with a daughter, a son, 6 granddaughters, 7 great-grandchildren, and 1 on the way. And that's my life.